Hello, I'm excited today to share with you a tutorial as well as some of my favorite features of Filmora scrn, a screen recording software program. My name is Megan Boitano. I'm founder of RD to RD, and let's get started. My three favorite features are the ability to record both your screen and webcam simultaneously. You can easily add annotations such as captions and cursors after you've completed your recording in the powerful editing area. And lastly, you can customize the recording field. Means things like omitting the taskbar or web page tabs. You can even, like I'm doing now, use it in presentation mode on PowerPoint and have your notes easily available while only capturing the presentation window and still taking advantage of custom animations. Can't wait to show you more. Thanks for joining. Hello, everyone. Megan Boitano. I am extremely excited to come on and share a little bit with you about Filmora scrn. If you are creating an e-course or in the world of digital products, maybe needing to create a video for your landing page, having a powerful screen recording program can really make the difference between having kind of an appealing product and not. So I just really think screen recording is essential, and there's a plethora of options out there as far as what you can use to capture your screen. I've been using Filmora scrn, and you may recognize Filmora. They make a video editing, if you're filming platform that's extremely powerful. So they are not new to the editing market, and I think that's what really makes Filmora scrn stand out, is the capability to edit those videos after you record them. So I'm going to go ahead and check in here and make sure that my video is streaming live here. I want to make sure we don't have any technical difficulties. So I'm going to check that out here. All right, perfect. So if you have questions as we go along, I'm going to keep tabs here, and we'll go through it. So let's go. This is the web address, and I'm going to include that Filmora, the screen recorder. But I'm going to show you how I use it, so that sometimes when you're going online, figuring out what works and what doesn't. This is the editing area, and last night I posted a video, if you haven't watched it, which included my screen, the webcam, and then kind of flipping between the two. And what's powerful about Filmora and what sets it apart is that it records both your webcam and your screen at the same exact time. So I'm actually going to attempt to play this video here just so you can get an idea of what's happening. Here you've got, I'm going to go into some detail about these tracks here, but just kind of see what's happening. Here you've got the video playing to share with you, and it transitions from just the screen recording to me here. My name is Megan Boitano, talking, back to what looks like a picture-in-picture. So it has both showing. I recorded this one time, and then using the editing features, went ahead and snipped out, because it creates separate tracks for all your webcam, the editing area. Here's the track for your webcam, lastly, the screen that it's recording, and then also your audio. Things like omitting the taskbar, so it kind of allows you to snip web page tabs, remove those segments. So let's just take a look at the recorder here. Use it how that's all set up. So what happens, it's really easy to do. And when I first started using Filmora, I had no idea how to use the editing. And all I did was basically go out and do a screen capture. And I think that's one of the things I really like about Filmora scrn. You don't need to be worried about whether or not you know how to use the editing. You can absolutely easily just go out, click start capturing, and get a fantastic screen recording. So this is kind of the basic menu when you load up Filmora. You can actually do a free download and play around with the program. It does create a watermark when you go to export. You can absolutely check out all of the functionality. So it sets up where you can adjust the capture setup. So here you have the option to record your screen or not, your audio or not, and your camera or not. So in this case, I'm going to say, you know, I don't want you guys to see me on camera today, so I'm going to uncheck camera. When you choose screen, you have a couple of options, which one is to capture your entire screen, or one is to set a custom size. And that's really valuable because oftentimes maybe you've got a lot of windows open on your browser or your bottom tray, and you really want a clean recording where, especially if you're doing an online course, you don't want everybody to see that you have 95 windows open on your browser, or just a little bit cleaner experience. I'm going to show you how I use that in PowerPoint here in a moment. So once you pressed, if you've said set a custom size and you press the capture button, it gives you the option, these little red dotted lines that you see. You can see here this, obviously would be full screen. I've drug it down and I've said, I don't want you to capture all of those tabs that I have across the bottom. So when you press the start capturing button, it's going to record your screen, and in this case I said don't record my webcam. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and do it just for the benefit of you all. I've been terribly sick and I look like pretty much a ghost, so we'll go ahead and do this. So it gives you a countdown. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. And then you can kind of see there's these little flashy lights. This was kind of confusing for me at first, but that means that you're live and you're recording, and it's capturing whatever's going on your screen. So it's really nice if you're doing a tutorial. Oh, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. This is the slide deck that I put together. If you go into presentation mode, don't worry about being absolutely ready, because as I mentioned before, it has editing capability. So it's going to allow you to snip and cut out whatever sections of your presentation that, as you got set up, or if you, coughed a few times. I actually used it when I recorded my RD Entrepreneur Symposium presentation, and I recorded my slides and my audio completely separate from one another. I had done, one run through and then decided that I needed to make some edits to the slide deck. So I actually kept the audio, re-recorded just the my slides as I went back through. And then I actually decided, I needed to update just a couple of additional slides, and I snipped out and re-recorded just a couple of updated slides that I wanted to change the bullet points on. So it's pretty powerful if you're doing an online course to be able to have that capability. All right. So again, we were just doing a quick recording. What happens when you stop the recording, which it doesn't really tell you how very easily to stop the recording. It does, but not when you're in the midst of it. It's function F10, which is kind of a strange. You can change the hotkeys if you'd like to make it something else. And then it asks you if you want to export the clip, which in this case, let's say we're going to go ahead and export that clip. So your clips appear. This is the editor. And as I mentioned before, you have the capability to do a lot of editing here. So if we go ahead and say, well, let's go ahead and add this to what we were doing before, it's going to go ahead. Oops, let's actually go edit, undo that. Wherever your little red, this is kind of where you are in the video, it's going to add that. So I'm going to say, I'm going to add it right here at the very end. And so it's going to add that new segment of video right onto the end of your presentation, wherever you had it before. There we go. As I mentioned before, oh, it looks like I didn't update and capture the webcam. I never checked that box. So here it's got the screen and the microphone separate here. Let's say perhaps, you know, as you're going along you want to cut out a segment. When you pause it, you can see these tracks. If I'm on the screen track right here and I press these little scissor buttons, it creates this little snip. And so this becomes kind of a freestanding little segment that I can cut out. So you can see over here what happened when I recorded my webcam and the screen. What I did is I snipped out and then I cut out the screen. I said, I don't want the screen to be showing, and it instead played only the webcam at that same time. So again, I could delete that out. And basically, it's just going to be audio only. But perhaps I want to add in a video clip. I want to, create something, different. If I'm creating my online course, I might want to go from PowerPoint, more smoothly into a video clip without showing me, fumbling around. I can snip in and out and add in other media. So if you want to import an MP4 file or any other video type file, you can import those in and easily detach the audio again if maybe you only want to keep your audio or the video component of an MP4 file. So it's pretty powerful, Filmora screen. I've been very impressed with what I've been able to do with the when you think about it first, well, all I really want to do is record my screen, and then you get into building a course. You don't want to have to go back through and completely re-record an entire lesson just to make a change to one slide. And then you don't want to compromise on the quality perhaps of your slides just because you don't want to have to re-record. So it really makes it efficient to create your course lessons or tutorial videos, or if you want to post a quick video on social media. Another thing I mentioned is that allows you to add annotations. So, perhaps you want to, as the video is playing, you can add in things like shapes, text, icons. I most often just add in the text, as well as maybe an arrow and a little call out. And you can absolutely customize those to your brand colors, which I have done on other videos. And you do the timing just like before. You can drag and make it smaller and bigger when you want it to end and when you want it to appear to align with whatever you're showing on the slide. I really also like that you can do custom cursors. You can kind of create this kind of highlight around, and you can do that all during the editing. So you can focus on recording your slides, and then if you want to, create some accentuation with a custom cursor, you can actually do that during the editing phase. So it's pretty powerful. I mentioned PowerPoint, and if you're doing course slides, PowerPoint or can't remember the Mac version, is probably something you're going to use quite a bit. So let me show you a little hack that I'm kind of the queen of finding funny ways to do things. So we're going to go into what's called presentation view. So if you've been in PowerPoint, you may know this is the presentation view. And what it allows you to do is you can see your current presentation, you can see the next slide coming up, you can see any notes you've typed, and you can see timing here. So this is extremely valuable when you're trying to, perhaps you don't want to be looking down and you want to be looking into your webcam and have your notes available, but you don't want to record all of this. Remember when I told you that with Filmora scrn you can create a custom field? So you're going to tell Filmora, I only want you to capture this little window here. So if we go back to Filmora and we go back to Recorder and we set up in the menu and we say capture the setup, we're going to go back to screen. We're going to set a custom size. And then remember, when we press capture, it's going to say, well, what do you want to capture? I'm actually going to move this over a little bit. What we'll do is we'll just say only capture this tiny little segment, this little window here. And why this is important, I'm going to show you here in just a second. When you start your screen capture, what happens is that as you play your slide and you have custom animations, that it's going to allow you to have your custom animations that you have, but also be able to see your notes at the same time. You could do this with just, having PowerPoint up and running, and you could customize your your screen capture and have your notes at the bottom, but you wouldn't be able to do the custom animations where you have, your bullet points come up, or maybe you have a video clip you want to play. So being able to use the presenter mode, have your notes, and then when you start capturing, it's only going to capture that tiny little window is just absolute major time saver, and allows you to use that webcam recording and be able to refer to your notes without looking away and being really engaged. So when you do, cut out and maybe engage with your students when you're teaching the lesson, so it's not just all your slides all the time. You might snip out and have just your face and then go back to your slide deck. That creates kind of a, more, interactive and, learning perhaps for them than just staring at a slide deck for an hour. So I'll start capturing that. I'll just show you real quick. I hope that this is going through here. So it's capturing. Remember I mentioned that it would allow you to use the custom animation. So again, I'll go ahead and end this presentation. And it's going to say, yep, export those clips. And that is this one. So if I go down, one of the things along the bottom here, if you want to get super, I'm going here to the end, if you need to make a super specific cut, maybe you want it to be like right down to the millisecond, you can zoom in super duper far or zoom out, and that allows you to get really specific with maybe the end of a call out box. You can really get hyper specific here. So maybe I want to make sure that I'm at the very, very end here of this play. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that screen recording we just made in. So again, you can see it doesn't have all of the rest of the window that we were seeing with our notes, but it only captured the screen. So Filmora scrn, let's go back to their webpage here. If you want to visit it, you can record from 2 devices. They allow you to do, they also have kind of this picture-in-picture feature, and you can record for really, fast-paced games. I know some gamers will use this to make recordings, export to all kinds of different, file types, import tons of music, media, other images, and adding in, I think, these annotations is, really valuable. Again, I mentioned drawing circles and arrows. So it really takes, if you're using one of the free ones, this goes from making it difficult to create a fantastic lesson for your e-course to creating one that really makes yours stand out. And that would be really valuable if you even just want to create a standalone, recorded webinar to sell. it allows you to create something that's really professional and has a lot of appeal. It's $19.99 per year, or they do have a lifetime pricing that's $29.99. And I did a year. I really wish at the time I would have, just opted for, the $30 lifetime. But when you're first starting out, you don't really know. It's pretty comparable to Screencast-O-Matic, which I think is just about $20 for a year. So yeah, if you have questions about Filmora scrn, I am more than happy to answer them. But it's kind of the download. So I'm going to go ahead here, see if there's any questions. And if not, I really hope that you found this little demo useful. I really don't think their website has nearly, they really don't have a lot on here that tells you, they tell you the features, but it would be really nice if they gave you some, live examples of how it works. So, all right. So I mentioned I'm working on a blog post. It'll be out by the end of the week is my goal, pending me staying healthy for the rest of the week, on Filmora. So some of this will be in writing in that blog post, some of the examples that I gave. So you can certainly go back to this demo, but I'm also going to make that post pretty robust so that it'll be a nice place for you to revisit, both from a why I like Filmora and also a how to use. So thanks again for watching, and I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody has after.